for sure. Ilios, one of those ones that I think a number of EU teams won't specifically be favoured towards. We have a lot of tank play here in Europe, and with all the environmental hazards taking place on Ilios, it can be quite tough.
The crowd upstairs, like I said, we're locked away in the basement, away from the fun. But hopefully you can get some of that through onto the feed as well to let you know that there's a lot of energy in this building right now.
Blizzard want us to finish all the series before we can see daylight again, basically. We're down here, we're plugging away at these series just as the teams are up there on the stage. I think I'd sooner be down here than up there. That crowd cheering is going to give you either a lot of energy or a lot of nervous tension as well.
Well, Netherlands have already had that negative energy because they've had to play against the home team. So really, they've had the hardest atmospheric matchup they could have had in this group stage. They're still to come for Germany. But playing against Germany should be a little bit easier with the crowd, kind of 50-50 split.
Or they'd look at the Netherlands flag and go, it's basically an upside-down French flag. Surely we can take that onside if you want to go for that one. 90 degrees more like, all the way around. You know.
Well, Facility's going to kick things off with a soldier pick. So, like you said, there's not very tank-heavy as expected on well. But it's the Netherlands who have control early on at the point.
Initially get that initial charge forward, absolutely, but Germany just taking their time, waiting to find the ideal engage and dive opportunity. They're going with Tracer and Sombra, so they want to isolate a target at the back and bring them down quickly. It's not happening so far.
Progi went in very isolated, and it was easy pickings for the back line of the Netherlands, and now they've got such a man advantage, they've got the positional advantage. They're definitely going to be getting that first cap. Just need to pick off a few of the stragglers, but it's Kodak to go down. Should seal the deal for them.
It's a very scattered initial dive coming out of Germany there, not really isolating one target they wanted to pick as a unit. That's what the capability you have to do when you have the Sombra on side, but instead it was like, tanks will go for Soldier and we'll send the Tracer and the Sombra towards the supports, and it was a bit messy, not really the most ideal start to this round for Germany.
Nesh might be changing off the Sombra. He's gone back to the spawn room. They might be looking to flex it up. The Kree's going to come out here instead. Facility, though, he's going to be close to that tactical visor. 10% left to go, and Nesh is starting from 0%. That change could mess up the ultimate economy of Germany.
It's 3-2-1 comp with a single DPS. We've had a few teams speak about it and say they want to run it, but it's very hard. Facility bringing out the attack visor.
Target-rich environment will be stand up for Kodak to finish off with those orbs of destruction. The Dutch lineup still running into the back line of Germany. It's Crusade getting a little bit bloodthirsty in that kill feed. It's going to ultimately be in control of Team Netherlands.
A lot of resources kind of thrown to deal with Facility early on, meant the cooldowns were in favor of Netherlands, and you saw the outcome. They just charged down Germany, forced them all the way back to spawn without using any ultimates except the initial one out of Facility. That means they've now got 5 to play with in this next fight, and they can continue rotating these around quite comfortably and should be able to hold this at least until about the 90% mark.
60% at the moment. That should be in about 2 or 3 more fights for Team Germany looking to retake it. Korn's going to jump in, knock him around, stunned up, locked up, jumps to the back of his team, but Primal Rage has been used. He really wants to be up there in the front, negating a push from Germany, but they're buying their time. They're holding off onto the back, looking for their window to go in, pushing forward. Transcendence being used by Sub to lead them all forward. Bruton's got that self-destruct, could drop it in the middle. Here comes the high noon from Nesh, looking for a target. Will only tap Bruton, won't even get the D-mech out of him, so premature trigger on that as they move around onto the point itself. They're in a good position to contest this. Healing, not as strong as it could be, but Korn's going to obliterate Crooks as they move forward. The self-destruct available. Bruton's going to pop it, force Nesh away. The body blaster was there, but it's Crusade taking out his Team Hurricane teammate on the Lucio, popping that tactical visor. No one's touching the point. Overtime ticks down, and the Netherlands take a very dominant first round on Ilios.
It was a very tactical fight coming out of both sides there towards the end. The dance of the 3-3 that we've seen so many times, broken apart a little bit by the fact that there was a soldier in there, but still very much so played the same way, where you had the Lucio protecting the Zen at the back with the front line of 4 otherwise. Facility playing very aggressive because he knew that if he found the right opportunity, he could just charge his way through, pop on that tack visor, and mow down the front line once they got rid of the Diva. Germany not really adapting as much as I would hope into that round at the very least. They did manage to get a couple of fights where they got a couple of kills, but nothing decisive to close this one out. But now we head to Lighthouse. Now's the time to change things up again and see what else they can bring to the table.
Moving it around to Lighthouse, as you said, Des. So we're going to mix things up. Compositions obviously change quite a lot between each map of Ilios, but no one really goes too tank heavy. Well, no one told that to Germany, apparently. No, Netherlands, my mistake.
Otherwise, just Germany looking to go with somewhat similar to what we've seen them run before, going for Krunks on that Genji once again. He had a couple of good games earlier on, a couple of whiff blades along the way. But of course, one game does not set the full story for a team here at the Paris World Cup group stage. So far, the early ground being held by Germany on the low ground. Actually, it's Netherlands who are the ones who are waiting for their opportunity to jump in, and here they'll go with the 3-3.
Progi already getting that leap kill onto Sav, so the Goomba Stomp is strong from him. Crunks going up onto the high ground, looking to dip down, throw some shurikens in. Positional advantage yet again held by the Netherlands, despite being one healer down. Where's the aggression from Team Germany to capitalize on the man advantage? They're playing it very slow, but they're starting to get results as they get the D-Mech against Bruiser. And Mortal follows up with a Soundwave. 2 kills for the bloodthirsty Lucio as Nesh can enter onto Facility. Corrin and Jonah turning it around, but the reinforcements are coming in from Team Netherlands to make sure they get that first cap and maintain it beyond 25%.
That flex support pick in the Moira is the most crucial part of this 3-3 setup Netherlands have got. If you've got a Zenyatta in there instead, then that's also the more crucial pick you can have, because that AoE healing when you've got a comp that plays very tight together, that's what makes Moira such a valuable pick here. The fact that she disappeared early on meant they were going to lose the fight, but here comes Germany.
EMP into nano boosted Doomfist. They've already got all the damage done. A D-Mech and a kill. Crunks playing on the edge of the environment. Gonna get that cap for Team Germany. Gonna stop them shy of 50%.
So even after finding Saab, they still couldn't cap the point back immediately. It took a bit more time to find their feet and push back in. Germany managed to make it happen, though. And Koda picking up the Ana here. That anti-nade is going to be so crucial for trying to burst through this comp. If they catch corners, we saw in Netherlands series earlier on against France, well, he melts down pretty quick. There's no healing you can give to him that will keep him alive, and the enemy team can just burst their way through.
Nesh has already spotted out everything the Team Netherlands is doing on this Sombra. He's hiding behind them. He's not got that EMP in his pocket. He's going to build it quite quickly as they move onto the point. Self-destruct, hoping to split the attack. Primal Rage doesn't break the shield, but will break the morale as he falls to his death. It's actually the self-destruct getting the kill onto Korn because the knockback counted as the environmental displacement. Crooks from the side, nearly got himself that Meteor Strike. Graviton Surge, pulling the team together, goes for the smack on the sub. Can't hit him because the fadeaway is good. But here comes the Meteor Strike. It's a get-out-of-jail free card, and they're going to send a few others to the pits of hell as they look for another knockback. Gets the D-Mech, the Rocket Punch to send Saab off the edge of the map, and it follows up with a kill onto Facility. This is Team Germany maintaining control of their point and succeeding what Netherlands have got.
Crunks doing work, but Korn is just staying around here, just trying to do what he can, but really a bit of a wasted effort, to be honest, and he burnt the Earth Shatter at the end there for no real good reason when he was in a 1 versus 4. That's the second time today that I've seen him use an ultimate when a fight was already well and truly done, so maybe it would have been better to save it, but no, he's switching over to the Winston, so at least that makes some semblance of sense.
Yeah, he blows it, switches over to the Winston, may as well get the Earth Shatter out, see what he can get if he's going to lose, but Nesh still hiding behind that team. He's just reading everything he's got and giving it over to Germany, so they know they've got a McCree now. They're going to have a more aggressive dive line from Korn and Bruce. Facility with that anti-nade on him, and you can see Nesh on the back line takes a few shots, but it's not very hard for someone like Krogi to come in and kill someone who's been denied healing. Krogi going to jump back up again. Team Netherlands just have to take this and move back, but with 95%, it's coming close to the end of this round. They need to regroup and move in fast. A lot of body blocking is about to take place. They allow Bruceson to come in through the side, draw a few bodies back to the point. He's going to be bursting through by himself. Uses the self-destruct to get everyone away. The barrier wasn't broken, so everyone was relatively safe. This bought time for Team Netherlands to get onto the point.
Still trying to fight their way back in, though. Germany still hold this point right now. The kills going across between either side, but Germany, they will concede the point here at about 50% despite taking away the kills.
Able to push them back. So Team Netherlands have control of the point, but Germany is starting to dominate the kill feed again. They might be able to flip this very quickly. The sleep dart onto Korn. Rusin trying to protect his teammate. Gonna try and shred down Mete. Might not be as successful as Krogi and Mete come in. Gets the kills and go. That's a boosted animal. Krogi on the point, riding the lightning through the rest of Team Netherlands. Should be able to get this flip, and unless Netherlands are fast, they might not be able to contest.
They won't, but maybe they want to try and contest here in the dying seconds. The Zen is nearby, but he gets slowed down as well. However, the Tracer is on point. Facility is there, but they're down a man now, Trid. This should be the end of this round.
Overtime's going to tick down. EMP comes out to cancel any chance of mobility, and that's going to be Team Germany leveling up, or leveling out, Ilios to push us to the 3rd round.
A game of 2 rounds so far, you definitely say. The first round being completely dominated by the Netherlands. The second one, Germany looking like the stronger side. So although it's hard to call which team so far is looking to be pulling ahead, this 3rd round is very open. It's anyone's for the taking.
But it wasn't an outright German victory, though. It was a lot closer. So I wouldn't say it's entirely a coin flip. It's that weird 0.00001% chance of the coin landing on its side. It's happened. And now we're going to move on and potentially see a more dominant German side in this final round. That would complete the journey of Ilios.
It would, but the Netherlands, they had that dominant first round. It seems like they were playing their game. They were the ones firmly in control, and Germany weren't quite sure how to adapt. They're playing their own game here once again, bringing out Quad Tank. We saw a lot of 3-3, but it's the return of Quad Tank here in Paris so far, Trid.
It's an EU special, what can I say? Everyone loves playing it. Well, do people love playing against it? Hard to say. So Germany, they're going to figure that one out as this round progresses already. Backing off to the room, so they're going to change up what they've got already. I don't think they're going to commit with Crunks on the Tracer. as he's moving very close to the back line. Krogi, however, he's behind the entirety of Team Netherlands, looking for a good flank to come up behind him. Might be able to get on that back line. You see from the side, moving in closer. There's a condensed unit of Team Netherlands, so you're not going to get much done.
A smart move from Nesh here as well, because yes, this is a very Widow-favored map, but it's best when you're against an enemy Widow and can get those kind of picks. When you're playing against Quad Tank with all these huge health bars, the healing, the shields, Widow really is going to be highly ineffective. The chance of you picking off that Lucio or Moira are incredibly low. You get a lot more value out of playing something like the Sombra with the EMP to melt through that tank line.
Vultures are circling this composition, just trying to get a few kills. Nesh is going to have to back out very quickly after Yona gets a good grab in there. Explosives being thrown into the pit, but they're just chipping away at this Quad Tank. Nothing substantial's been able to hit it hard. You're going to find Krogi being taken out as the Vultures get bitten back against.
So hard. You continuously see Yona's health bar going down, the chip damage coming out of the Tracer and the Sombra, but it's not substantial enough, like you said, to actually bring them down. They need a big play with something like a self-destruct or anything else along those lines to help them crack through it. That could be the start of something beautiful though, Tris.
They catch Facility on the side. Crusade's able to level out against Crunks, who's getting a lot of work done with those final blows. Hack denied by Bruce, who's quick on the pivot to try and take out Nesh, but he's going to disappear. Not enough burst there to catch him out or the CC to match. So Grunk's going to change it up, moving on to the Doomfist. I wonder if we'll see any more changes coming out from Germany. Nesh is about to get that EMP. That could be the real decider of whether they can crack it with this composition.
EMP is the big one, I think, for them here, because they're looking to that to bring down that frontline tank, and just to have that Shield of Corn offline, even for a few seconds, will be fantastic. And getting rid of the health pack definitely denies the huge healing effect that of course, has on these larger, beefier frontline members. There it comes.
Nice knockback. I think it denied the EMP from a couple of members of the Netherlands, but hit most of them. Crunks is coming in. Meta's switched over to Wrecking Ball as well, so we should be able to jump in there. Graviton Surge pulls the ulting Krogi together, and they're just going to burst him down. There's nothing he could do about it. Team Netherlands, they wanted to flip this back and have a dominant round. They're hitting 90%, and they'd be lucky if Team Germany could get one more push out of this round.
Immortal with the big brain, being able to dodge away from the EMP, get his own sound barrier out to keep his team alive. Still wasn't enough. Here comes the Wrecking Ball. Meta's been melted. I've never seen a Wrecking Ball die that fast before.
He's not been able to maintain, and of course he's a little bit slower, hitting the power driver with the tick rate on a LAN server. The Transcendence keeping Germany alive, but he has to fall back. Krogi gets the Goomba Stomp onto Crusade, so we'll take him out. Meteor Strike coming down, no protected barriers, wants to find someone to assassinate, goes for the uppercut, can't connect with the rest of the combo because the fadeaway was good, but Facility going very low. The flip looking very real for Team Germany here with the team kill to seal the deal, 99%. They lose one fight, and Netherlands take this first map.
Kodak and Immortal picking up the majority of kills in that fight as well towards the end, getting those key final blows down onto the members of Netherlands, who are now choosing to mix things up. They're going to try and match this weird and strange competition they're seeing coming out of them, with the Sombra and the Doomfist coming through quite standard. The Wrecking Ball is the one that really throws some confusion into the works for them here. It's very much so an all-in team coming out of Germany, with the exception of the Zen.
Jonas already taken that cross. They're going to use the EMP into the power drive from Meta, but he still gets bursted out by Facility. There's not much he can do. Krogi's there with a fist to finish off Facility. Kodak's going to jump onto Crusade, and Krogi pops the Primal Rage, keeps Netherlands away, buys more time for Team Germany to rack up some more charge.
Can't believe I should get hold of Jonah there as well. That's very uncommon, because normally they'll either have the recall or they'll have one of the 3 dashes available to get away from the Winston, but great return on investment there by Krogi. They still hold this point as well, 45% in. Can Germany hold until the end and take away this first map?
It's a tough one, Des, 50%, so they're halfway there, but we've already said they lose one fight, they lose the round, and the map already committing in. Krogi goes deep into the back line. Sound barrier is there to keep everyone alive, but Krunks already burst through sub. He's got a Meteor Strike. The rest of Team Germany sitting in a Transcendence. There's the Seismic Slam into the uppercut onto Cord. The rest of Team Germany, they've done everything they need to. Once they've dug their heels into this point, they're not letting go of it.
Beautiful from Kodak as well. He got focused down by the Sombra and the Tracer almost immediately, brought out the Trans, and as he was coming back into it, Nesh got the hack immediately onto the Tracer, made sure she couldn't bring him down, and together they managed to clean all of that DPS damage up from the other side. Germany still holds strong, and they have the sound barrier to play with.
Facility has that EMP to cut through. If he times this right against Immortal, he might be able to cancel out that onslaught altogether to deny it from entering into the fight. Krogi left out to the dust, and Bruce is going to capitalize. This is the window of opportunity. EMP hitting multiple members of Team Germany. They've got a teammate. Sound barrier might come in to save them. Crunks has been hacked. He's got nothing to do. Oh, he's come back into it. It wasn't able to connect. Crusade finally takes him out. Korn obviously removing Mete. Yona has been hacked. He's to the side. Here's the flip coming out from the Netherlands. They just need to hold this and not get stalled out against.
Nesh burning his ultimate in the middle of that 3 versus 6 maybe wasn't the best use of it. The great antidote to Nesh means there's no healing available, not for him, not for Kodak. They're starting to fight their way back in. Netherlands have got this point. It's the final real fight, Trid.
Primal Rage in a hack, it's going to cancel it out altogether. Self-destruct, clearing out the point, finds Korn. The kills aren't coming in fast enough. They do have man advantage on the point. Team Germany fighting back, Meteor Strike, straight on top of Crusade after killing Jonah. It's Crunk to save Team Germany on this map as he's turning it around, seemingly all by himself. Facility will dash away. No one's on the point. The flip can go back in their favor, and they can hold the advantage moving into a stalled out fight.
Crunk's literally doing the job, but no one gets on the point. Facility was so close, but not to be. Germany taking the first map, literally saved by one man at the end there, and his name was Crunks on that Doomfist.
Doomfist, we're seeing a lot of it this time around, Des, and it's refreshing to see it after a tank-dominant European season. And Team Germany, it was looking very rocky for them towards the end of that map. A very dominant Team Netherlands hold, but ultimately they were able to flip it and come up with some excellent play to maintain that position. They're going to go into this series with a 1-0 lead.
Great start for them as well. Like, already we've seen Netherlands in that fighting spirit after the first round. Brilliant play with the soldiers from Facility, just making it so Germany just couldn't really adapt in time. But then we saw them fight their way back in. Germany showing us what they're made of. That final map going to 99-99. It's probably a pretty fitting way for how close this series is going to be.
We're moving on to the, I'm just going to go guess it here and say Netherlands going to pick Blizzard World. They were still had a good performance on it despite losing it to France, so I wouldn't be surprised if we still see them run it. If they do run that, then we might be able to see the full strength Netherlands on a preferable map. Of course, we don't know yet. We're going to find out what that map is very shortly, but it's their choice as they lost the first round.
And they can always mix things up once again. Just because you saw them play it once already and they ran out with certain strats doesn't mean you'll see the same thing time and time again. It's all about a little bit of innovation, changing things up so you can't really be scouted. Because let's not forget, all the other teams are still here in the venue. They're watching these games and watching what each team is doing to think, right, that's how we're going to adapt and deal with this when it comes round to it. Problem then, of course, if they don't play that, well, then you've got to think on your feet, and that's where some teams can struggle when it comes to the on-the-fly adaptation, as we saw from Germany in the first round of that map.
With only a singular round robin, you can't be conservative with your strats. Let's take a look and see what that map is. I have a feeling I'm going to be right on that one. Yes, of course, it is Blizzard World, second map, hybrid. Team Netherlands spoke highly of their confidence on this map, so it doesn't surprise me. If they have the choice, they're going to pick this one.
It's always the hard one as well, because teams will always say we've been performing very well in scrims on this hero or on this map, for example. Scrims are just scrims. It's something that everyone says whenever someone goes, yeah, well, scrims we're rocking everyone, so we're going to win this. Everyone goes, oh, but scrims are just scrims. And for good reason, because teams don't always show their full hand or play to win. You play for certain strats in scrims sometimes, so it's always hard to gauge purely based on that alone. As we saw against France earlier on, you might have an almost flawless win rate record on Blizzard World in scrims. When it comes to the real thing, things can definitely change up a little bit. However, they'll be coming in with confidence. They know it's a map they feel very comfortable on. Germany may be a little bit different in that regard.
Let's see what Netherlands are looking for on their defense. Now, we know they tried to run quad tech against France earlier on in the first game of the day. I have a feeling they're going to try and run it again. How successful Team Germany will be at breaking a very aggressive full hold defense that the Netherlands is trying to attempt will be telling of how the rest of this series will go.
Rolling out with quad tank so far seems to be the go-to thought. Always seems to be the way. We're almost stepping backwards here, Trip. We're rescinding a bit. We started out with a bit of creativity. Then 3-3 kind of began to become more prevalent as the day has gone by. Now we're back to quad tank on every single map.
It's like a frog in the water. If you turn up the temperature to boiling, they don't notice it. It's fine. If you make a jarring jump and drop the frog in the boiling water, they'll hop straight out. That's essentially what's happened with the creativity of these teams. They suddenly go, right, we're going to play Doomfist. No, we can't do Doomfist. Back to quad tank, back to goats. It's exactly what's happening here for a team like the Netherlands. And hopefully Germany finds a creative solution to get around it. I don't want to see another tank fest with these two necessarily on this map.
Absolutely not. They're rolling out with the Sombra. I imagine for scouting, at least initially, Crunk's playing away on the Genji. And as soon as they know what they're against, Nesh may well choose to recall back. If they choose to stick on it, it's a bit of a risk, because I feel they need some tank-busting power here. Dive doesn't do super well into quad tank, so maybe that's a bit of an adaptation they've got to make. And there they go, onto the Doomfist straight away.
But what you can do is you can just let Nesh cap the point like he's doing. It forces him to come back and answer anyway. You don't need to change it. And look at them with this. They're capitalizing on the rotation from Netherlands, hoping to get in there in the chaos of movement. They send Crunks very low on that Doomfist. So they moved them from that initial full hold position. They didn't get much else out of it other than a little bit of territory to move around.
They've got the right comp to deal with this with the anti-nade, and we've already seen what the Sombra and the Doomfist can do against tanks. We've seen it quite a few times today, in fact. So Germany have got the right idea. Now it's just getting the right angle of engagement, getting the key ultimates online, and making a play from that.
So their aggressive position has been forfeit. Team Germany have seen to that, so pushing them back on to the point itself. Krunks and Progi on the high ground, diving into the middle.
Oh,
Nice
the
hook to
grab!
cancel from Jonah, shutting him down straight away. Brewson's going to follow up with the damage, so immediately Team Germany are in full retreat. They know they can't stick around much longer, and they're just feeding ult charge over to the Dutchman.
Krun's going to switch straight back over to Genji as well, despite having that comp that I thought actually was working pretty well for this. That grab threat coming out of Yona there, the instant reaction as soon as he heard / saw the Doomfist coming in was pretty pivotal. If he managed to get a multi-man knock up there, that could have been the go sign for Netherlands, but they never really found that window of engagement they were looking for.
They're sending Nesh around again just to force a retreat and buy some territory for Germany. I like this use of the Sombra to just sneak in and force a reposition from Netherlands. I want to see Germany capitalize on the chaos. They're using an nano boost on Progi. He's feeding a lot of energy to Facility. Time to move on to the supports, but Coalescence is keeping everyone topped up. Meanwhile, Jonah and Korn have found the supports of Team Germany. This is another null push for Deutschland. Deutschland?
It's going that way. People call them Deutschland. We'll go with it. Germany more, know them as on this stream, of course. Netherlands managing to clear it for the most part, though. They've managed to push them all the way back. The Dutch, the ones firmly in control at the moment. Also, it feels.
What about to get that ultimate himself, but Netherlands looking pretty healthy in the economy position right now.
Crusade. You do, bud.
Germany gonna go for something similar as well. Look at the ult charge available for them. Immortal about to get that sound barrier, and Krug's so close to that Dragon Blade. But the EMP from Nesh could be the decider. Wants to move in a little bit closer. Will get it off as the self-struck comes over the top. Will only get the D-Mech onto Bruce, and as Krunks finds Facility. Progi going very low despite having that primal raise to keep him topped up. Will get some healing from his back line. Germany have an edge here. They just need to seal the deal. Earthshatter comes down, finds no one from corner as he charges off the point. Krunks with the Dragon Blade onto Bruce, and wants to cut through Sav as well. So without a D.Va and a Moira, this should be Team Germany's point to take.
Managed to finally claw their way through almost there. Krug's with a couple of one kill there. Better getting another kill here. Sometimes those single kills can add up to be a full team. Driven, yes, in the end they managed to clear them away and take this point back. That Earthshadow from Korn, maybe that's a little bit more to be desired.
Underwhelming, I think it's fair to say.
Moderately.
We'll see how it goes. See if we can get some of those fatty shatties if he goes off of Winston onto the Reinhardt. Hopefully, we might see some later on in the series. Facility, got a Graviton Surge still, got the self-destruct, so they've got a bigger bang combination, but there's another nano-boosted Progi being locked up by that Graviton Surge. Korn is shut down. He's unable to do anything while he's being slept on the ground by the Arno. Progi's going to pop that Primal Rage again. He gets these ultimates so quickly, Des.
Progi's been playing really well so far with regards to how he's playing his Winston out, making things work for him at the right moments is what's crucial to a Winston. Not just diving in and dying for no reason. He has made it work for the most part, but in this case he gets chased down by Crusade of all people and finished off towards the end. Netherlands are in a really weird spot where in this kind of transition comp, it's 3-3, but without the Reinhardt in there, really. It's Korn rocking across. I think because they thought they had ultimates online with Facility having the Graviton Surge, it didn't make sense to switch away right then. They may well try and do it soon though, because Germany, they're still rocking out with this comp of the Genji and the Sombra.
Is this the legendary Dotes we've been hearing rumors of?
There's no wrecking ball in this one, so I'm afraid not just yet. But hey, it's working out for them. They're still managing to hold this point at the archway.
Very good as Nesh comes around the back line. He's got that EMP available, just going to harass Netherlands. Make sure they're unable to go. Crusade's not letting himself get hacked, and Nesh forced away again to safety. Krunks is about to get that Dragon Blade up again. He won't have the nano boost immediately, but might want to commit to it without. But 21 HP is not when you go in. The EMP might provide an ample opportunity to do so with no shielding available. But Brucen taking out Progi. They've got themselves a rally to top everyone's HP up, and Krunks has nothing to do with that blade. It's been shut down. It's been dulled. Find yourself a whetstone and try again.
Germany have been pushed back every single time they have tried to make something work here. Maybe it's more on them to mix things up here because, like I said earlier on, Netherlands looked like they were the team in the kind of transition stage of multiple compositions. But Germany, despite sticking with what they've got, they're now switching Krunks over onto the Brigitte, Nesh is onto the Zarya, so they are mixing things up. They're going for that 3-3 variant. That gets instantly eaten.
What are you doing, Facility? You had a flank. Jump in there and get yourself some work done. But Korn's going to commit to this. The rest of the Netherlands have to fight. Sound barrier being used. Progi's isolated on the Reinhardt. They've not been able to take him down yet as Krunks gets a kill, but Brucen might have to save the day for Facility with that double kill on the self-destruct. Team Germany unable to get that foothold still, but it's getting closer and closer to having this wall that the Netherlands have put up crumbling down around them.
Only a minute left as well for Germany to make this work, and they've only just really switched to this comp, so they're still waiting to get a couple of ultimates online to try and make the big plays, the utility plays that we often see with GOAT's comp, just trying to get the Graviton Surge down, go swinging in with the hammer, maybe lead in with the Transcendence or the Sound Barrier if you have to. They just want to burn through this front line, specifically looking towards Korn, but as of yet, they've been unable to achieve that.
Very quick shatter available from Progi, and they may not be able to hold that forward position, but they have bought a lot of time and burnt the time back. Progi going very low, throws the urchin down, multiple people hit. Mete with the double bomb onto Crusade and caught on the back line. They're trying to commit and put that nail in the coffin, but there's a lot of resistance from Team Netherlands. The Coalescence being the main factor, and a high charge Facility with a Graviton Surge in his pocket will take out Nesh. Unable to get anything done there. Germany in retreat again with 7 seconds remaining.
Even with 3 members remaining, they still managed to push the main tank back and bring him down. They've also gone very deep in here, trying to get some harassment down.
It's going to be Facility, still got that Graviton Surge, going to get rid of the mech, not taking any chances this time around as Mete's being burned through. The shield is up to heal him, as well as the Transcendence. They're not going to be able to burn through him just yet. Overtime's in effect. They have 1 kill to their name, but the respawns are going to be coming in very quickly. Here's the grab from Germany. Where's the combination? Progi gets burnt down before he can swing the hammer too many times. Self-destruct, sound barrier. They're throwing everything at Team Germany, and they're getting dividends from their investment. Immortal dancing around the point will be locked up, but it's a letter number for Team Germany, and it's time for Netherlands to go on the offense.
For that whole of that final fight, Immortal was behind the whole of Team Netherlands while the rest of his team were trying to push from the front. One of the key strengths about playing 3-3 with the Lucio is that added mobility that you get. You can engage onto the enemy quickly, you can disengage, and ultimately, despite having the Graviton Surge down, they had no way of getting in close to capitalize on that. They had no way of pulling away when the counter came in. Just a bit of a scattered final fight there, and almost rightly so, lost that final fight due to a little bit of miscommunication. Now we get to see how things work for the Netherlands. They'll be feeling very confident about this, I think, given how that first round defense went.
This is their comfort pick map. They've not got a lot of distance to cover. As long as they can get that capture relatively early, they should be able to seal this up and equalize moving into the halftime. Team Germany, they're going to be on the defense. I wonder if they're going to run what we've seen them run on their defensive options against tank-heavy compositions. They run that Sombra and Doomfist and rely on shutting it down. Will they be able to pull it off again?
Or if they try and mix things up even further, try and change things around, because it seems to be Germany so far who are the team that like running with this Sombra and the Doomfist. And understandably so, Krunks pretty much saved the 3rd round of Ilios earlier on with that alone, getting 4 kills on his own in the final fight. Admittedly with a bit of support from his supports, but still managed to pull it back with all that damage he was kicking out. So Germany, they're the ones setting up for the defense this time round. Same sort of setup for them. Again, Sombra Doomfist on the other side. I can't imagine we'll see Sabrin out the gate rocking away on the Farah. Going to change over to the Zen. Facility, he's the guy I'm looking to see what he's going to run out with. I
told you, if a support's going to play Farah, it's going to be Crusade. He touts how good of a Farah he is, but I don't think he's got the confidence to bring it out on the world stage.
Absolutely not. Facility. Still seeing around what he wants to pick up here as well. The other side so far seems for Korn and Bruce taking away the standard dive tanks that we're used to. This might actually be a pretty tankless affair, I was going to say, but by the looks of it, they're going to change things over and head towards playing with the Hanzo, or maybe that's a scouting arrow and they'll change over to Zarya afterwards. There we go.
Scouting arrow, but they're also going to use Jonah to see what they've got. They might run that 3-2-1 composition with the solo DPS Sombra, but I think it's for scouting to have a look at what's going on. Hasn't spotted anyone yet. He's probably wondering where they all are. Might run into a trap here and get himself killed, but no, I think he's clocked on that they're hiding something, so he's going to switch over, probably to Brigitte, run that Goat's composition with the Zenyatta, just in case they go against tank-heavy resistance.
Germany are in a position to deal with this. They know that this is the setup that they choose ideally to deal with tanks, whether it's the anti-nade, whether it's the huge smack factor and mobility coming out of the Doomfist, or just Sombra getting a big hack and EMP down. Speaking of which, he's behind them now, just waiting to hack one of those key targets. He's been found out by Bruce and Spray.
Bruce having a bit of a spy check, but the rest of them are so low as Krunks from the top belt manages to get Saab and Jonah. They're missing 2/3 of their supports, is unable to complete this push for Team Netherlands. They may have got a return kill of their own, but they can't fully commit to this one, Des.
Doomfist doing Doomfist things, bringing down 2 of the supports and really just taking the wind out of their sails there. Netherlands switching over Facility onto the McCree this time round. I think they want an answer to deal with Krunks on that Doomfist because he is becoming a major thorn in their side.
It's not enough for Jonah to be able to shut it down with his shield bash. He needs to be helping out his tanks and his support heal for them against potentially a Sombra as well. Having that McCree with the flashbang through helpful for them, fires it down, throws it quite early. In fact, when Doomfist wasn't at risk of being caught out, the shots are good enough for Korn to follow up with the lightning damage and get the kill. Deadeye available for Facility so quickly, he won't have to use it. The hack comes out. They're sending in everything they can to stall this out a little bit longer, but Team Netherlands look like they've got a good foothold on point A.
They have, but still lose a couple to that EMP coming out on the other side. So potentially here, there is scope for Germany to fight this one back in. As it stands though, out comes the ult from Facility. Will he catch anyone? Doesn't get a kill, immediately eaten by the Diva.
Super aggressive bubble as well coming out from Progi to deny even more sightlines for him. Already Crux, he's supposed to be the one that's shut down by Facility, not the other way around. Rolls out of it, but there's the stun and the shots from Facility to finally knock the fisting man out of position. It's going to be Jonah with that rally, keeping everyone topped up. Just need to shut down Progi, who's buying so much time with his Primal Rage. Talking of buying time, that's self-destruct, coming off a lot of the reinforcements from Team Germany. They should be able to flow in. While this is going on, progress is being gained by the Netherlands. They have 2/3 as their hack to shut it down.
Still trying to find the way in because Germany just keep on coming back in like a leaky pipe. You cannot get rid of these members. They're constantly being a thorn in the side, but Star finds Progi. They find Crunks as well. This could be the support screen work for Netherlands that they need to take this point, Trid.
He was so close to shutting down Nesh's EMP. It's come out. He's got no abilities, but he's still got control of the point. Just needs to delay anything further coming from the Nesh, hiding in the back line. That's what you expect from Sombra. Has to dash away. 3 minutes 45 to make it not very far down this map.
Like, come on, guys. This isn't an assault, man. These fights should be pretty quick, but that one went on for a good minute and a half, 2 minutes there. Members just constantly feeding back in and keeping the timer ticking over, or the contestation of that point over and over again. Netherlands peeling back though, maybe not going to change the comp up here just yet. They've got a couple of ultimates they can play around with. Germany, they're pulling Crunks across to the hands though, one of the new ones for today.
New one indeed. Crunks pulling out a very deep hero pull so far in this series. Facility still got that high ground. Oh, nice 180 flick onto Nesh. They called it with the flashbang. One tap to the head. See you later. And now it's high noon as he checks his watch to get another kill onto Immortal.
It's a good push through from Netherlands here. Once they kind of crack open that initial defense, they manage to get rolling through. There's no one left to contest this one. We're going to be one-on-one tie going into the half, Trid.
Perfect. The question about which team is stronger between UK and France still remains up in the air. But we're trying to answer a more direct question about Germany and the Netherlands. But still, like I said, this could be a litmus test to show how strong these teams truly are. At the halftime, Germany and Netherlands, identical scorelines mirrored between map 1 and map 2.
And for Netherlands, there was potentially more to come on that map as well. They were on a pretty good roll after that initial 1.5 minute, 2 minute fight that seemed to last forever. Just on the screen there, Naruto sitting here playing at the desk potentially.
Naruto playing on the desk, but also the stage manager coming on. Guys, come on, get up, move, break.
Have your break, go stretch your legs, get ready for the second half.
Have a chat with Mortar as well. Make sure that you're getting the right information and the right strategy for the third map.
Absolutely. And both teams, I think, have got things to go away and look at here, because it started out strong for Netherlands. Germany took over for a while, and then Netherlands brought it back in and leveled the playing field out once more. So that means after the half, things are going to be up in the air a little bit. That was Netherlands' map, let's not forget. They're the guys who said that Blizzard World was their go-to. Was this a bump in the road for Germany, or have Netherlands finally found their groove and now they're back into things?
I can't answer that question, Des, but we will get an answer after this quick break.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup.
No more crunks from us, unfortunately.
It does help if they put the vowels in their name that indicate which one it should be, but we'll forgive him in this case. We've been told vocally.
I don't think he made his name specifically to catch us out. I don't think that's why he made it like that.
That's all it's
We
for.
just dropped the ball on this one, man.
It's all as for us debating casters, apparently. Players love to do it all the time, but one thing we're not being debated by is the quality of play out of these two teams. It is tied neck and neck so far at the half, 2-1 in either map respectively. Of course, Netherlands did choose that second map, and I know from speaking to Germany that they didn't really like Ilios. It wasn't their go-to choice. They like Oasis a lot more. So we
Still won it, though.
Exactly, that's my point, is they still won on a map that they don't feel too favourable on. So in this case, well, maybe you give it to them to say that after this half, this is their time to really roll things through. They now have the map pick. Third map, you'd argue, will go their way, which leads it down to the fourth. However, Netherlands, halftime pep talk, it can do a lot for teams, especially when you've had a good chat with your coach, and as you mentioned, both have got them behind the scene, Radio Boys and
Mortar.
Mortar are there. What do you think, Mertz?
I don't know. There is a coach called Mertz.
Maybe there is. Either way, the way it stands, they've had a bit of a pep talk. Things can change coming in from the half-time, and we've seen a lot of Sombra and Doomfist so far coming out of Germany. It seems to be these guys who are pioneering this comp through the Paris group stage. Netherlands are the ones who have got to adapt.
The adaptation doesn't seem to be the name of the game. They are trying different things. I will give them that. For the most part, though, they're relying on that GOAT's composition a little bit too much for my liking. Can they bring anything else? Let's see some more damage orientation, especially from Facility. This guy's a talented DPS player. Let's get him off some of these more static heroes.
It's been an interesting one because when he pops off, as we've seen a couple of times, he does work. Other times when he's on these more utility-based heroes, like you say, the static ones as they were,
It's a nice way of saying tanks.
I mean, there's one way of saying it, yeah, when you're playing the Zarya and you're openly firing through the air your Graviton Surge, then you're basically saying, please eat this Graviton Surge, right?
Honestly.
Not his proudest moment, but he'll have many proud moments in here, and especially even more of them to come on Volskaya.
Yeah, Volskaya Industry is going to be our third map in the Assault archetype. So, this is, of course, like you said, Des, is going to be Germany's choice. We're expecting a little bit more comfort from these guys, because by the sounds of things, they've not had that so far in this series, going from Ilios, they've said they don't really like, to Blizzard World. Well, no one really picks it apart from Netherlands, so I'm guessing that's kind of their trump card. Let's see what they can do on a map choice of their own.
We've seen some really interesting setups before on the first point of Volskaya as well, especially in Europe Contenders, where we have seen things like a Soldier paired with a Doomfist, for example, which made a very interesting dynamic of if you dive into them, well, you've got a Doomfist who's going to have all of his cooldowns online to deal with you, but you can't ignore the Soldier who at the back after the recent patch is doing more damage from range. It makes it quite a hard crunch situation where it's a catch-22. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. No team's really opted to go with that just yet, but we have seen a lot of snipers coming through on this point. Earlier on, we saw Widow between, I think it was the UK, in the third game against Germany. They were running a lot of double sniper in that one as well.
KSP.
The boy himself.
The rookie coming into the World Cup squad this time around. A lot of potential in that guy. Let's keep it on the potential in the Netherlands and Germany. So, Nesh coming out with an interesting choice. Don't think he's going to stick with that. Let's have a look at what's on the Dutch lineup. So you got Yona on that Soldier 76, playing off that high ground. He's going to have support from Saab immediately with him, but of course Crusade could jump in if he needs to, and Facility on that Hanzo. So more damage coming out from the Netherlands, Des.
They got themselves in that nice spot here where they've got the tanks on the low ground who can react to a dive if it comes through. A very dive-heavy comp coming out of Germany actually here as well, with the Genji and the Sombra on side. They just want to find their opening in. Nesh already is off doing his antics towards the right-hand side. He's trying to find a vulnerable member all on their own to give his team some intel.
And we see Facility holding that high ground. Cranks getting in the face already with the deflect. Unable to commit on that one so far. Facility with that Storm Arrow. Move a little bit further forward with the defense. Making sure that Germany is not able to get anything meaningful as Korn's going to pick up that first kill on to Cranks and send Germany a little bit further back.
The crucial part of this, the Netherlands, is their tanks are preventing the side of Germany from getting on top of HUD so they can stage and go for a dive elsewhere. Now she's constantly trying to harass the Soldier and the Zen off to the side here, but every single time he goes in to try and get a hack and damage down, Mercy immediately retreats to the backside and the Facility jumps backwards, and they're just constantly almost cushioning the damage and the aggression coming out of Germany.
Well, they're sending everything they've got onto Jonah. It's going to be Saab it's going to take down, but he takes out Krogi on the way out as well. Cranks throwing some shurikens in. Team Netherlands still have a modicum of control over this point. They're forcing Germany back to the entrance of the staging area, if you will. Netherlands not ready to give this up though, so not their map pick, but they seem to have a pretty solid strat so far.
They're holding up pretty well, and yes, they lost Saab, but the trade didn't make it maybe made it somewhat worth it. It's not really worth it for the defenders to trade 1-for-1. Didn't really have a choice when they had all those members jumping in. Here they go into Facility in the back line.
Dragonblade onto the back line immediately. They know the target they want, but the leap was good, and now he's being punched out. Kranks has been shut down from this Dragonblade, but the rest of his team still doing work. Progi will pick up the slack, find Facility. Self-destruct goes over the top. Nesh got a D-Mech, and Kodak's going to take out Brusen while he's been exposed from his tank and his mech. Jonah sitting on that biotic field, not enough to fight off the damage in his face. Will get shut down by his own Helix rockets. There's going to be Team Germany taking point A.
Although Korn did a really good job there of keeping his soldier alive, using those big fists when Winston has that ultimate active, still not able to protect the rest of his team. Sadly, he can only be in one place at one time. He isn't Stretch Armstrong, who can keep his whole team protected from the aggressors of Germany. And eventually, with all the dive potential behind them, they do manage to close them out. Now, 5 minutes 45 on the clock for them to push in towards this second point.
Blizzard, that's a great merch idea for you. Stretch Armstrong, but with Winston. I'd love to have one of those, and I'd definitely buy one. Immediately, Nesh on the back line, EMP. That's an easy target for him. He should be able to pick up sub. Nice defense matrix to keep the rest of his team alive, but Kranks can just cut through the matrix and get himself another kill as he finds 2. Both of them supports. Progi follows up with a kill onto Crusade. Self-destruct goes up high, drops back down, unable to get any kills, and the return is coming out from the Netherlands. Transcendence from Sab just to get onto point and help out the rest of his team. Keep Brusen alive as Agility, he's been hacked off to the side. He's unable to fight. Kranks goes in.
Oh.
He gets the they get nano boosted to immediately get shut down by Jonah. That is so unfortunate for Team Germany. Netherlands have got this defense sorted.
Quite literally one punch man there from Jonah, just sends him flying and completely shuts down everything they expected from him. Unlucky for Kranks, but he keeps hold of the ultimate at the very least, so yes, the boost was there. I think he was relying on a bit of damage from that nano boost to get the blade online and then go in. Fortunately, it wasn't available at the time, so didn't manage to bring it out, but now has it online for the next fight. And Kodak already is back towards 33% to getting that nano boost online.
There's not much you can do if you get T-boned by like that by a Doomfist, but he has got the blade available now, just won't have that nano boost, depending on how much Kodak wants to heal or damage, get that ult charge up for himself, and maybe go for a combo. Getting a lot of attention. In fact, he gets Winston and Doomfist in his face. Even Crusade gets up there with the Lucio to provide healing to his Facility, who gets the kill onto Kranks, onto Progi. Korn follows up with a kill onto Nesh. Team Germany sent back to their spawn room, and they still got 4 minutes to play with.
Facility's one of those guys you just cannot ignore. He was off to the side the whole time. While the rest of the team engaged, he managed to get into the back line and bring down those more vulnerable members who had run away from the initial fight. And that's really where Tracer excels, is bringing down those isolated members who have either used cooldowns or have no real way of getting away or surviving what she's about to lay down to them in terms of damage. He's even got the Pulse Bomb online. There we go.
Nice little stick. Finds the double onto 2 supports. Kodak and Immortal, nowhere to be found. That's a 5-player kill streak for Facility. And Team Germany unable to make a dent on point B.
Managed to shove them all the way back. Some great play. 2 fights in a row now where Facility has managed to push the members back pretty much single-handedly, admittedly before his team were drawing in the aggression from Germany, but in that fight just there, double Pulse Bomb down onto both supports. That's the dream scenario for a Pulse Bomb.
Absolutely, and they've still got plenty of ults to play with. Jonah, very close to the Meteor Strike. You're going to have a self-destruct go into the backline already, forcing a scatter. Nice angle, finds Kodak again, as Korn will take out Kranks and Facility dancing around. It's another cleanup job for the Netherlands DPS, with so many members from Germany already dead.
This is almost clinical coming out of the Netherlands. Every single fight, they're the ones taking the initiative, making the play to shut down Germany. Germany, though, through all this, to be fair, have been very patient. They said, let's wait, save our ultimates up, and then we can take our initiation and go for the play we want to make. They had 5.5 minutes in the time bank earlier on. Yes, it's down to 3 minutes now, but this could be the perfect play getting set up for them.
Netherlands have been very conservative. They have ultimates of their own to try and match, but they will not be able to match 6 coming out from Team Germany. The whole buffet is available to them. EMP to kick things off. Dragonblade onto the back line, goes for a target. It's already been taken out by Nesh. Doesn't even get the reset on his dash, still no assist. There's the D-Mech. Sound barrier comes out. Krank's blade shut down by the proficiency of his own team. It's a unique position to be in, but he still manages to fire Crusade without the blade. Progi going for the environmental kill onto Demon with the reset. Now's the time to get on that point and start making some progress. As the nano boost comes out, a little bit too late for Kranks to get anything done. Self-destruct to the point will buy even more time as Korn steps back on to try and contest.
Slow start to that fight initially, but Germany are the ones on the point. However, the spawn advantage coming back through for the Netherlands. Jonah flying out of spawn as well on that Doomfist. He'll be back here in no time. A bit of a questionable move from Germany there because they went in with everything initially. Burnt out the EMP, managed to bring down the Zen, but then no one really followed it up. So Netherlands have now to bleed their way back in slowly while Germany weren't willing to capitalize and move on to the point. And now we go for a full reset. This time, though, Germany have completely empty ultimate bars.
Yeah, they're going to have to restock themselves from the counters. Team Germany only going in relatively close to a Dragon Blade, which they're then going to lose all progress for as Crank switches over to Brigitte, and they're going to rely on Immortal's Sound Barrier. At the moment, you look at Netherlands, they've got a Pulse Bomb, which they're going to sacrifice in favor of the Hanzo. You got Brucean with the Self-Destruct, so a lot of switches coming around from Netherlands. I think they're using the option of knowing Germany have no ult to be flexible with their picks.
That as well, and also the fact that so now they're seeing Germany switch, they think, well, what can we really take to deal with this? So one, the long range of the Hanzo, of course, no damage fall off. The spam coming out of Yona as well to stop them being able to walk in as freely as maybe they want to. So not really want to go for a direct engage here. They just want to pepper them down from afar and then capitalize off the back of that.
Interesting movement by Team Germany. They're looking to wrap around the side rather than fight head on. You've got DPS that can be double pocketed as Brucean takes out Frogy without even needing the help of his DPS. Just an Orb of Discord from their Zenyatta, from Sab to make it happen. Nice shot. Jonah's going to pick up the final kill onto Kodak in Germany with 50 seconds left. Still haven't got any progress on the board of point B.
Bit of hard in for Progi there, because he dived into 4 on his own while the rest of his team was still staging to go for that dive with him. Whole thing falls apart, so again, bit of miscoordination coming out of Germany there. We saw it in the first game of the day for these guys against the UK. It's not really helping them right now. Netherlands the one firmly in control, and again, let's not forget, this was Germany's map pick. They chose to go to Volskaya. As it stands, they haven't found the winning formula.
A lot of orange on the side of Netherlands when it looks at the ult charge coming into this final fight. Just need Crusade, 5% off his Valkyrie and Jonah. He can get that ult very quickly, the Riptire. We're going to see him move on as they're looking to find a way into this fight. Sound Barrier, very early for Team Germany. Diving onto the back line, can't commit to it. Brucean's locked up. The defense matrix can only last so long, but the self-destruct will buy a little bit more time. Riptire about to come out, jumping onto the point. Going to go for a flank, see which path it takes, and it jumps onto the back line. No one's able to touch the point. The stall was good from Jonah. That's going to be a failure to complete from Team Germany.
If you ever wanted an example of how a tank can make space for his team, all you have to do is watch that fight back and look at what Korn did. When he saw the engage come in from the other members of Germany, he immediately dives into the back line, drew the attention of McCree, Brigitte, the other 2 supports. So while he was in a 1 versus 4 with the Primal Rage online, soaking up all that damage, it left the rest of his team in a 5 versus 2 situation to clean Germany up and let them just win the fight alone from there. Germany barely even got a sniff at the point off the back of that. So really well played by him, and I've criticized him a few times today with a few miss ultimates or Earth Shadows where they don't really need to be used or missing completely, but that was definitely one of those big round winning plays that you need from your main tank.
And it's all looking like it's going to come up for Team Netherlands. They only need to get 33% of point B to get themselves a map win and push themselves into series point for the final map. It's looking really good for the Dutchmen. They just need to make sure they can play this map as well as they can defend it.
You saw that in the players' faces a second ago, skimming over them. Smiles everywhere for the Netherlands boys. Clearly enough of a smile for Immortals, like they're far too happy for this. I'm gone.
Immortal making his name ironic by jumping off the edge immediately.
Technically he's Immortal because he comes straight back afterwards, though. So although
it's a fickle fig. Immortality is immunity to death, is it not? You have died, but you come back. Is that
class as immortality or just...
I don't know. I don't know the definitions.
Temporary death? Partial immortality?
Legde's very good with vocabulary. I think he'd know the correct definition.
I'm sure he has something in that big brain of his, that's for sure.
Well, I hope he has something in that big brain of his.
Germany rolling out with double sniper to kick this round off. Triple if you include the Anna as well, who will tend to play on the higher ground, probably somewhere with the Mercy. Playing a little bit of kiss chase by the looks of it now between the 2 of them, just dancing around who can heal who first, apparently. Netherlands themselves rolling out with the double sniper. They're mixing up there and bringing Saad to the party on Zenyatta.
They can't take any damage there, so they're not going to be able to heal each other anyway.
It's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts, remember that. Love each other.
Always. We'll take an anti-nade to the face, that works too.
That's some tough love right there. But Netherlands taking it very slow. Going to dive in and pick up the pace immediately after I say that. Trying to take control of the high ground. Yona on the back line, 20 HP, but the supports aren't in range to help him. You can hear him saying, I need healing. Immediately both of them turn around so they can get back into the action with the tanks who are doing all the legwork. You can see Korn is off in the front lines. They haven't got definite control of the point yet. Just poking around the side as Cranks is going to take out Saad with a scouting arrow, immediately force out the resurrection, so brings him back, but they won't have that all-important ability moving into this next fight.
Doesn't want to reveal the area, he wants to reveal the inside of his Omnic brain to get a bit of an idea of what's going through the head of this support player. Still down a little number, it doesn't matter because Jonah's going to find Nesh. Facility onto Progi, this could be the opening they need, Trit.
Double sniper available, Cranks has that Dragon Strike, but he's not able to get it off because Facility got one just just that extra bit faster, and the rest of the Netherlands going to take control of point A, and they're going to have a substantial time bank to only capture 33% of point B.
This is exactly how you want to play double sniper compositions. You get those opening kills, your dive tags initiate off the back of that, and everyone piles in together. The beauty of Hanzo is that you can play him quite aggressively and charge in, almost as if you were not so much a dive hero, but someone who can join in the dive, much like Lucio can, for example. All it is there is the Widow finding that opening pick. Facility gets one for himself with an added bonus. And in the 6 versus 4, well, why wouldn't you take those odds?
Yeah, precise available for Jonah is going to make him all the more lethal. And I think that's Cranks realizing he might have a little bit of difficulty. Throws in the Dragon Strike, Saab isolated on the back line. Dragon Strike going to cut through, but find no one. It's another distraction. Nano boosted Winston in the form of Progi, trying to get onto the back line. Jonah getting all the healing he can, but it's not enough. Will go down, but Facility takes out Progi for the Emblex. Of course, he has the squad advantage, so that trade is beneficial to Germany.
Now comes the Transcendence as well from Netherlands, pushing their way forwards once again. They want this point here and now, but Germany is saying, not today, friends. Back to spawn you go. We'll see you again in 30 seconds.
Deja vu, except as this time is Germany sending the Netherlands back to their spawn. I wonder how many times they can do this and whether the Netherlands can build up that buffet and be a little bit more efficient with their ultimates should it come around to the 6 stack.
And let's not forget as well, they've only got to get themselves up to 33% to win this map out. So it's not like they've got to do a full stall. Generally what you'll see with teams, if they lose on the defensive side and give the point away, they'll wait till about 90%, gather 6 members again, and go back in for a big fight to retake the point. They don't have that luxury here, Trent. That's the most important part.
Well, Nesh and Progi has already found 2 kills, so that's Netherlands having a very muted offense. Immediately going back, trying not to give away any more ult charge. They got plenty of time to play with those, so it's no real threat for them. 5 minutes remaining.
Slow the time down a bit here as well. 5 ultimates almost online for Germany to play with. Netherlands only with a couple right now. Might spend the next couple of fights getting some of these online to go for one of those plays that we've seen both teams do so far this series, where they just throw the kitchen sink at the other side. Last time around for Germany, it didn't pay off for them. They didn't even manage to capture the point once or get any percentage down there to get them towards completion. The Netherlands, they're hoping to try and do something different.
Firing the Dragon Strike through the choke point that Netherlands were hoping to occupy. They're having a little bit of a fight with 2 tanks, Bruce by himself isolated, but here comes Korn to reinforce it, to get control of the high ground. Now they need to kick in the door and get onto the point itself. Meta going low, EMP in the middle of the entire fight. Instant deletion coming out on the side of the Netherlands. Saab and Jonah, unfortunately, will lose their lives, and yet again, Netherlands are gonna have to retreat.
It's kind of difference I'm seeing between Korn and Progi here is Progi is very happy to capitalize on the offensive potential this scene create for him, especially when you see Nesh bring out that EMP. He's like, I'm straight in the backline, I'm getting in there and doing work, whereas Korn, he's more of a space creator, so although you won't see his name in the kill feed as often, he's still doing a lot of work for his team.
Thanks, just going to hold on that high ground. Netherlands not committing any ultimates. They're getting close to the buffet, Des. And like I said, the turning point of this game, or this map, will be how well they deal with the arsenal of ultimates at their disposal.
Cranks just holding off here as well. Not quite at that ultimate just yet, but they'll be waiting for it quite soon. There comes the ultimate out the other side, though. Facility firing that one through. They catch Kodak at the back, and he had the nano boost.
Nano boost unavailable. Couldn't quite kill Cranks, and they sent Korn right at him. Gonna finally finish him off with the Fists of Fury. The Hell in the Cell match going in favor of Korn. Nano boosted Winston on the side of Germany on the back end. Self-destruct being used to remake very quickly. Cranks will have the Dragon Strike moves back up, but look at this. Progi onto the back line of the Netherlands, as Facility will save him with the Storm Arrow, making sure that Crusade stays well alive. Here comes the Transcendence to keep everyone up and healthy. They're so close to getting the capture, but the stall is available. Here comes the Diva. Nesh to the side. He might be able to get him a point. Kodak snuck his way in. They're taking out the back line. No one's there to contest. Wrecking Ball cannot connect. That is the Netherlands going into the final map with series points.
Decisive performance as well, especially on that second attacking round. Took a bit of time for them to warm into things, but once they started finding the opportunity to get little picks like that, give the Zility the room he needed on the high ground, that was it for them, and I have to keep pulling back to it. Kodak with that nano boost, that could have saved that final fight for them. And unfortunately, he went down just to the Dragon Strike. It wasn't anything particularly special, but found himself getting picked off in that situation. You should not be going down there. You should know and be aware of, 2 huge dragons spiraling towards you.
That Dragon Strike was very much a divide and conquer ultimate. It split up the team and allowed them to dive onto the back line and create some chaos. And like I said, it's super unfortunate that we did lose Kodak in that moment rather than any pressure from any diving members of Team Netherlands. And Nano Boost, 300 HP instantly. A lot of damage reduction and damage increase from yourself. It's a big game changer.
It did come out towards the end, but it was a little bit late by then because the initial engage was done and gone. They needed it at the start to keep one of those crucial members alive, to make sure they still maintain their posterity on the point. Wasn't quite to be though. Netherlands, again, credit to those guys. They're making these things work out for them. Both sides executing very well on the EMP with the Winston combo as well. Every single time you see an EMP come out, the Zenyatas are dead pretty much straight away. We saw earlier on we saw it where the Winston didn't even get a chance to get a connect in because actually it was the Sombra getting down the Zen. And let's not forget with Zen, 150 of his HP is shields. When that EMP comes through, he gets put down to 50 HP. A little bit of spray and he's gone.
Okay, so series point, like we said, for Team Netherlands. Let's have a look at that final map. And I wonder if we're going to see any surprises in that escort category. Des, do you think we're going to see any changes?
Not massively. Both teams have kind of stuck to playing what they used to, it feels almost like here as well. So maybe for Germany, we see more of the same going towards things like the Sombra and the Doomfist. But the map itself does lead to a lot of alternating play between all of the separate points. We saw a lot of tank play going from second into third so far. First point, though, that's been more of a quad tank full hold sort of fiasco.
Of course, Rialto being the final map, potentially final map of the series. I mean, if Germany win out the map here, deny the victory for the Netherlands, we can force out a 5th map, 2 in a row. If you look at the group stage so far, that'd be quite the spectacle, Des.
It would indeed. Netherlands rolling out, as said, with that quad tank. Seems to be quite a popular defensive option. Maybe Netherlands somewhat inspired by their defeat against France earlier on, thinking, hey, we can do this too. We know how to play quad tank. Let's go for the full hold. They're even going the same route of starting on the left and getting ready to push in.
They're forged in the fires of Europe, Des. They know how to play quad tank. Let's just put that to rest. Every European team of European heritage will know how to play some semblance of goats and some semblance of quad tank. It's their dive, and it's the Sombra and the Doomfist that really is going to make or break teams at this group stage.
Tier 3, Tier 2, doesn't matter where you look in EU, it's always going to be present somewhere. Germany, as it stands so far, looking to roll up with something a little bit different, going for that kind of very aggressive all-in setup here with the picks they've got, going for the Genji, the Winston, even the Sombra, just to get a bit of scouting in, I think. The big difference here could be Meta playing on that Wrecking Ball. If he can get in and cause some disruption to this quad tank setup, they might be able to prevent it holding in place at all.
Can't work out where they are yet. They don't want to commit. They're assuming they're close, and they're going to hold the high ground.
They knew that was coming.
The Netherlands have pulled the trigger a little bit early, going to commit with Meta diving in. They got the other side of them. They're on the payload, so it's going to force a position change from the Netherlands. Still getting the charge onto Crank. Nesh will take out Jonah, and they're just allowing Wrecking Ball to roll around and cause some disruption from the back line. He goes in with a slam. He can roll back, get some healing, go up top. He won't even have to use his grapple hook. Just drop down with it again. And Korn being hacked, being slept, is a prime opportunity for Germany to take him out. But they're moving the payload away from the holding point that the Netherlands want. It's forced the movement. EMP comes out. There's nothing Netherlands can do. Could shut this down. Germany have read them like a book.
They were fully prepared for that. Maybe watched the series earlier on and thought, man, everyone's going to be inspired by that French play. Let's change things up a little bit. Nesh got that EMP online in about 35 seconds. So he was doing work with the spray downs there to make sure he got that online before Crooks even got his blade online.
Cranks is about to get that blade online, but also Kodak is also about to get his nano boost online, Des.
Oh boy.
This could spell disaster for the Netherlands.
Speaking of Netherlands, they've changed things up a little bit as well. Moved away from playing on that quad tank or even 3-3. Instead, obviously, to go for the Tracer and the Sombra, or with the dive tanks in the mix with the Moira and Lucio inside.
To the skies he goes and back down with the blade, cuts through Sab and ends the coalescence early. Nesh has already got a D-Mech, needs to find more targets to make this work. 2 ultimates committed, 1 kill and 1 death. Cranks not being the most efficient, but it might be enough for Team Germany to get more progress on the board.
So nothing to get moving forwards, and the ultimate was burnt out there by Crusade at the very end. Now, I understand the intent, but maybe not the best call when you know the attackers have got the advantage here, and they've got more numbers on side as well, both in terms of spawn and in terms of positioning. Maybe a bit of a wasted sound barrier. Still, Germany, the ones in control. 2 ultimates online to play with, have that transcendence for this big final fight under the archway if they need it.
Crusade was trying to be a little bit sneaky there, find an escape route, but Frogy read him straight away, knew exactly where to go. Very aggressive positioning from Team Germany, trying to stop Netherlands' chances of touching that payload and contesting it. When you've got Facility on the Sombra who can run in with stealth and then unstealth on the point to stall it out. Here's the EMP going up and over, transcendence available. He's been detected, doesn't matter, still gets the EMP off. Facility going very low. Oh, it rolled over by the Wrecking Ball as Mete climbs through him, and the rest of Germany are going to make sure that the Netherlands cannot touch and cannot contest, apart from the lone Jonah on that Tracer.
Facility rolled over by the Wrecking Ball, both literally and metaphorically there as well. The whole team getting rolled as soon as that EMP came out. Well, there was nothing really left to say except, well, I guess we're done here. I have to go back to spawn and just rethink things through a little bit more. Come back once again. Germany, though, but off to a very solid start on Rialto. And again, we hate to keep on saying this, but it comes back to it being their map pick. They're looking the most comfortable with it so far.
It's not just their map pick as well. Rialto has been the highest picked escort map of the group stage so far. Teams should be expecting to play this, so should have strategy and hopefully some diverse strategies made. As another Dragon Blade goes straight onto Pursuit, Crack's going to shut him down. The EMP comes a second too late to stop the ability. He's already got enough kills. Self-destruction aside, finds two as Mete and Cranks are going to be obliterated. Netherlands are able to stem the flow of Team Germany.
Even when they were behind the pillars, Crank still finds himself getting picked up, and now they're going to mix their own compound once again. Crank's leaving that Genji, going across onto the Tracer. It's more of a match coming through here between the two teams, wanting to try and even things out with a bit of mirror composition play.
Well, it's all down to who can play the mirror composition better. If you're looking at that instance, Netherlands jumping onto the back line. They've isolated some supports. Cranks with that Genji looking for more. Jonah has that pulse available for him. Gonna get the Gunda Stomp onto Kodak. Progi answers with a kill onto Sav. So equal trades coming out as Progi follows up and tips it in the favor of Team Germany with another 2 kills under his belt with the help of Mete as they move onto the payload. With that speed boost, we want to get in position and make sure that they can start moving the payload before reinforcements come from the Dutch.
So good hold for Netherlands so far. They've actually held them here now for a couple of minutes, and Germany now starting to clear things out and get themselves on the move forwards, just getting those crucial picks towards the end there as well, shutting down Netherlands and hopefully stalling them out a bit longer. Nesh just failing to get another one off towards the end there as well.
So close. He just had that EMP available. Morton's about to have a sound barrier. Look on the side of Netherlands, Pulse Bomb. Jonah finds something creative here. Good spell, Disaster moves in, has to come back with a recall. A lot of resistance, gets the sticky down onto Progi and will send him to the grave. There comes the Diva, nearly close to that self-destruct. Moving around to the side, Team Germany being very apprehensive to commit to this as they know they're already at a disadvantage. And well, Netherlands, they sense that hesitation and they're going to keep moving forward. They now have reinforcements from Progi, so they can't fully commit as they would like to.
Constant resets here as well. Germany just sort of running the head against a brick wall, just struggling to actually make much headway. And yes, they win a couple of fights, but they get maybe 15 meters and they find themselves stopped once again by Netherlands. Have to go back to the drawing board. Here comes the EMP, that big EMP on Netherlands as well, but Brucing gets clawed out.
Brucing comes out, unable to find an answer. There is another Dragon Blade from Cranks. He even got the Nano Boost to boot on that one. So, Facility and also Crusade going down for that one as Mete and Progi going to cut through the rest of the Netherlands. So, they're going to get this second checkpoint, move on to the final phase, and going to have about 2 minutes 30 to deal with this.
Have a good while. They've got the sound barrier online to play with if they really wanted as well. But probably want a bit more than that to be able to crack through the fortress that is this final point for the Netherlands. Facility over onto the Soldier. Already seen what he can do at the start of this series when playing on this hero. Can he make it work for them here too?
Nano boosted Korn, pushing Germany back, and they're just going to ride this one out. They don't want to even risk the lightning. They're going to kill the momentum that Germany had and force out something different for the third point. Facility, he knows he might not be able to get away with this one. He's going to change it up himself as well.
Oops. Going to hang around for a bit too long. Going to find himself a bit staggered out here as well, which gives them a bit of a free push. Although normally you see teams go for the big contesting when the payload hits the corner. So I imagine you'll see Netherlands just chill out for a minute, go for some changes here, which is exactly what they've done. Going over to playing 3-3 to try and deal with this composition coming out of Germany, which is pretty much a mirror.
We've got that Nano Boost available. That could be a big edge for Germany in this first encounter. Just not a lot of ult charge across the board for the Dutch. They're moving in early. Progi's going to get that protective barrier. The charge coming in to try and negate everything. But Progi, with the Nano Boost, unable to get a lot of value out of this one. He's having to put the shield up. They've isolated Brucin. He's been demacked. That should surely be a kill immediately afterwards as well. Cranks Progi, the rest of Team Germany moving into the Sanctum for the last hold. Goes for the charge, stunned up by Brigitte. Jonas not letting him crush his opponents, but they have been forced back into the spawn room.
Split apart there really, where the 3 supports are on one side by themselves, the tanks on the other. And that's not the kind of ideal split you want. You want your healers keeping the tanks alive, so they're the ones that can do the fighting. But that early pick-off isn't really going to matter when they're so close to the defensive spawn. But now Netherlands come with the counter push.
They're on the cusp of completion, unable to get that final push yet, but they have a minute to get over that last hurdle. No shield from Progi, he's trying to be conservative, he's going to lose it. Lost the shield, but he gets the Nano Boost immediately shattered from Korn. They know there was going to have no resistance, and Facility off to the side with the high energy, unable to get huge amounts of damage off, but it's enough to force Germany back. 50 seconds remaining. They cannot get staggered here, Des. They need a clean push, and the ults are coming in for Netherlands, and they're not going to have to burn them on this offensive.
Just playing into what I said earlier on, Progi playing an aggressive tank play. That's what he likes to do. Not much of a space maker, but more of a murderer on his team. He does still run through with the Nano Boost online, but doesn't really get anything for it. Immediately, the enemy side has an answer to it. Netherlands with the shatter down, keeping nice and quiet. They're now the ones in control with 30 seconds to go.
Facility better learn his lesson from Blizzard World and go in for a good graviton here because he can make or break his team's defense. As long as he lands this right, they're going to be sucked in already from Nesh. They're going to fire their own. They're sending the Transcendence away from the fight. They can't burst through him fast enough as the sound barrier comes through. Self-destruct of their own over the top. Nesh is isolated to be taken out by the explosion. The Netherlands have pushed Germany back, and with 5 seconds remaining, there's no way they're completing Rialto today.
There is not. The sound barrier from Mortal comes out at the very end, but no one is on the point, no one to contest. The two supports, the only ones left standing at the very end. That means this map is going to end in this next push grid.
I don't think we've seen a team complete Rialto so far, have we, Des? It's always been a case of they fall just short.
Only just.
They fall just short. They get so close. But it's that spawn advantage in the final section of the map is so difficult to overcome. But already Germany, they know that the map will end on this next attempt, so their defense has to be solid to force out that 5th and hopefully final comeback round for them.
Interesting to see what defense they come out with here as well, because quad tank seems to be the most popular go-to choice. Admittedly, only seen the map a few times so far, but at least 2 of those, it's been a full-on quad tank full hold attempt. And Germany this time round, they were prepared. They knew what was coming. They saw what happened earlier on today, and they thought, right, we need an answer to this. And what was their best response? Don't run out the main doors. Stay on the high ground and wait to see what happens when they come rolling out. Sure enough, quad tank was waiting for them, and they managed to deal with them piece by piece.
Very good answer from the Germans. They're going to go onto a defense. Doesn't look like they're going to opt for a similar strategy. Immortal, I'm really hoping he was actually going to play the Torbjorn there, because we have actually seen a lot of European supports play Torbjorn on certain maps. So hoping he might be able to spice things up a little bit, but no. He's going to move on to that Zenyatta. Looking very dive-heavy defense from the side of Germany. Could be a bit high risk, high reward for them, considering the momentum that can be picked up by a quad tank composition. Oh, GOAT's composition, sorry.
I spoke about this earlier on today in terms of why Rialto is so popular, is that teams are still kind of deciding what's the most optimal way to play it. The fact you're seeing 2 completely different defenses coming through, one that is very in your face, going for the full hold near the spawn, one that is more conservative with dive-based tanks. That just goes to show that teams still aren't sold on what's the best idea for them yet. There's still always new ideas coming out, and that always, of course, means that there's new ways to attack as well. Netherlands, though, they're going to be rolling out with a more standard setup here. Anna in that GOAT's comp.
Kind of conscious of whether they were going to get full health before there. They've conceded that ground. They're going to allow the Netherlands to move forward. They're not sure what they're coming up against yet. I don't think the Germany team has shown their hand too much here so far. They can only speculate for the time being. They're going to change it up. They don't want to go with quad tank into this. They think they're at risk of being overrun. Zility's going to go back onto the soldier, and they're going to get Winston for Korn.
It's that worry that you get anti-nated and suddenly you have a whole team descending on you and picking apart your most crucial members, namely Korn. So they are going to match it out here. Visility on the Soldier presents a very interesting pick. So going for the 3-2-1. We've heard a few teams speak about this, playing the triple support, followed through with the 2 tanks and then the solo DPS. Most weren't 100% sold on it, but in this case, Netherlands are one of the teams that were like, well, we're confident that Visility can play almost any DPS, so we can make this work.
Nice defense measures there to stop the orbital destruction from the Visility after a sleep, and Brusen finding cracks with the help of his team. So giving up all this territory for them to move into the courtyard, not proving too advantageous, but they're starting to turn it around as Krogi finds Crusade. They're going to have a drop down as Nesh is looking to be targeted by Visility, forced back by the Lightning and the rest of his team. He's going to have that tactical visor available for him. Let's find him a good position to open this one up and open up the rest of the map to his team.
Pushing for Visility, already got that ultimate.
He's spy checking so much, he doesn't want to get caught out by Nesh.
Nesh is always the worry for the whole team, I think. You'll see a lot of them spy checking pretty much constantly, whether it's the D.Va just spraying around all the time or the Soldier laying down some bullets. Let us aware that EMP is online roughly around about now. It's been 1.5 minutes since round start. That's about the sort of time that you assume it to be online. Let's got to keep an eye out for where he actually is.
I like the position Facility's got. He's looking for the dive coming in from Germany. He's going to counter it with the tactical visor. So he's holding position, looking towards his team rather than outwards as his hack comes in. Krogi's going to dive onto the back line. Facility's already found Nesh as he exposes himself, but Krogi gets a double. It's 2 supports down on the side of the Netherlands. They just have Jonah remaining for the hill, and Brigitte, she's not known for incredible sustain for the rest of her team, rather more so for herself, but Korn doesn't need sustain when you have such a large HP fall, propping up that primal rage as Jonah's going to take out Kodak, and Germany unable to get a foothold on this defense. This should be Netherlands moving further into Rialto.
0.34, they were held up for a good few seconds there, but still managed to push forward with 4 minutes 15 seconds in the time bank. Curious to see if Visility chooses to stick by the Soldier or if in fact they do try and mix things up. Equally on the other side, is Germany going to keep on matching into this? Turns out the answer is no. They're going to go themselves this time over towards the triple tank with the Anna.
Live by the rifle, die by the rifle. Unfortunately, Facility's not going to be doing it this time around. Going to see a change up.
Triple tank?
Goats, I imagine. I don't think they're going for quad tanks with this one. They're going to keep with the Brigitte, keep Saab on the Zenyatta, knowing they're going to tank-heavy engagements, and they're going to clash on the bridge. But they bought Germany enough time to come up and have a very forward defense against them. But look at how low Progi went down. Stunned up, locked up, Transcendence to lead the charge through the fight, and a nice charge from Korn to seal the deal onto Progi. It leaves Meta exposed and killed, and the rest of Germany are in retreat as Team Netherlands are moving around that first corner of the second section.
Despite losing their 2 tanks with the Lucio online, it does mean you can get back very quickly and you aren't going to find yourself getting staggered out, despite the ideas that Netherlands had about catching a member or two and making sure that there was never really another solid 6 versus 6 before this second point was caught. Zarya almost going to drop down there as well. Facility playing very risky.
It's a dangerous game for the Dutch as they move forward. Sound barrier. They're using support ultimates very aggressively. Shatter comes out, only finds Koenig on the back line. No one can get in range to finish him off. Nice defense from Team Germany to try and push back this offense coming out from the Netherlands very confidently. Stunned up. I believe that was a Graviton Surge that didn't actually connect. Neshes got eaten out by Bruce, and Self-Destruct comes over the top. They're going to get themselves charging across the point. The progress on the payload hasn't been contested. Facility has a Graviton Surge of his own. Might not want to commit for this fight, considering they should be able to finish this off without the use of an ult.
They can always save it now. That's it now. The sound barrier and the Diva Matrix are down. There is nothing they can do to stop this coming through. There's the clean wipe the Netherlands were looking for. They now have 4 minutes, Trid, to push onto the 4th point and close this series out 3-1.
An extra 1 minute 30, and they pretty much need to complete the map to make sure that they end up with the lead in this series. They're holding a very aggressive position, keep making sure Germany don't have time to set up, and they're just allowing Saab, Zenyatta to sit on the back and escort it in. Crusade going very low, but he can pop back up very quickly, and the high charge from Facility should earn him an ultimate very quickly. Saab taking out Progi from the back line. The point unable to be contested as they're forcing them away. Look how low Nesh went as he was trying to go aggressive on the payload and shut it down. None of them are able to touch it with any semblance of a HP pool.
It's a nice shadow coming out of corner as well, enough just to catch Progi out as well and make sure that Saab had the free reign to bring him down. But potentially to the final fight though here, there might be a bit of stagger play coming in from Germany as they throw members back at the point. As it stands in this first fight though, they will have all 6 members available and they've got 2 big tank ultimates online.
Defense ultimates available for Netherlands. They have Rally and Sound Barrier. They're going to pop both of them at the same time. Locks them up as Nesh goes low. No kills to be found just yet, but it's getting close to seeing the Netherlands drop. Here comes the Transcendence from Germany to reboot the fight in their favor, and the Netherlands are retreating out, trying to outweight the healing from Zenyatta as they're moving back onto the point. Facility on the front line against Progi. Will get the protective barrier. Transcendence coming out from the Netherlands this time around. They have a Graviton Surge as well. They want to end it. Oh, eaten up. Unable to find a connection there. Self-Destruct goes up. Will come down. Shatter to lock him in place, but the bomb is out of range. Team Netherlands are going to walk over Germany and take the series 3-1.
Great series coming out of both teams as well. Germany still showing they have that capability. They're not rolling over and saying these series are going to be 4-0. But the question has been answered, I feel, here, Trid. We said Netherlands or Germany, which one is competing for that 2nd place spot alongside the France and UK? As it stands, you're starting to look and say, well, maybe it's the Netherlands. Yes, they lost earlier on today against France, but against Germany, they came out pretty convincingly.
It goes back to that algebraic equation, Des. If France can 4-0 the stronger team out of Netherlands and Germany, and UK can only 3-1 the weaker team out of it, begs to ask the question, can Netherlands beat the UK, and can the UK beat France? That opens up so many more questions for the rest of the group stage. But let's focus on the victory here. Look at the love between Crusade and Nesh. These guys have been playing together all season of Contenders, and it was so important for them to get a leg up over each other, and I feel as though Crusade was able to do that.
If you saw all the boys on Twitter, they've all been giving each other a bit of trash talk, should we say, making sure the others are aware that they want to win that series, that they're fully sold into this one. And to be honest with you, this is what it's all about as well. What you can see on your screen here, for a lot of the players, the opportunity to play on this stage in front of the crowd against their friends and potentially enemies from their local scenes.